We are going to take a look how to troubleshoot the UI, how to troubleshoot the backend, and then how to troubleshoot in the AWS console, all of this. And then AWS Lambda, how to troubleshoot. Let's see. Troubleshooting UI issues, reproduce the issue, try to replicate the problem to identify the condition under which it is occurring, and then check the console. Use the developer tool to inspect the JavaScript errors, warnings, and the console. Third one is inspect the elements. Examine the HTML and then CSS to identify the misalignments or missing the style. And then fourth one, cross-browsing testing. Verify the UI across different browsers and then devices for capability. Review the recent changes. Look at the recent code modification that have been caused to the issue or not. And then monitoring the request. Use the network tab to check if all the resources are loading correctly. And then debugging tools. Implement the debugging tool or breakpoints to step through your code logic. Consult the documentation. Refer to the official documentation for framework and library in use. And then ninth one, seek input from others. Collaborate with the team members or community forum for fresh perspectives. Utilize the feedback tools. Gather the insights from the feedback tool to identify the potential UI problem. Then here is a concise guide on the troubleshooting on AWS Fargate application in the 10 lines. So first, what we need to do is we need to check the task status. Use the AWS Management Console or CLI to verify the status of the Fargate task. Identify any that are stopped or failed. Second, what we need to do is review the CloudWatch log, access logs through the CloudWatch to find the error or warning that may indicate that went wrong during the task execution. And then third one is inspect the task definition. Ensure the task definition have the correct configuration, including the resources limits and then environment variable. And then fourth one, monitor the container health. Set up the health check for containers and then review their health status to ensure they are responding as expected. And then fifth one, checking the network configuration, validate the VPC, subnet, security group, ensure that the network configuration are all proper communicated, and evaluate the IAM role that we used. Ensure the IAM role associated with the task, and then necessary permissions to be accessed the required AWS resources. Use AWS X-ray. Implement the AWS X-ray to trace a request and then analyze the performance bottlenecks in your application. And then eighth one, examine the application logic, debug application code locally if possible, focusing on areas where failure are logged or issues arises. Test with minimal load, scale down the minimal load to isolate the issues and then gradually increase the load while monitoring the performances. And then 10th one, consult the AWS documentation, refer to the AWS troubleshooting guides and then best practices for for the specific error codes and then common issues. Now the concise issues troubleshooting the Lambda application. Check the CloudWatch log, access the logs for your Lambda function in the CloudWatch log to find the error messages and then stack trace. Set up a custom metrics. You use the custom CloudWatch metrics to monitor the performance and then failure rates to identify the pattern. Review the Lambda execution role. Ensure that the execution role has the necessary permission to access the other AWS services. Inspect the function configuration. Verify the settings like timeout, memory allocation, and then environment variable to ensure they are correctly configured. Test with the sample events. Use the AWS Lambda console to test your function with the different input event to simulate various scenarios. Enable X-ray tracing. Actively AWS X-ray to trace the request and then visualize the functional performance and then potential bottleneck. Use the AWS SAM CLI for local debugging. Use the AWS serverless application model SAM CLI to test your functionality locally. Handles the error gracefully. Implement the error handling and then retrace in your code to manage the failure more effectively. Examine the VPC configuration. If your function is in the VPC, check the security groups and then subnets settings to ensure they all allow necessary traffic. Consult the AWS documentation. Refer to AWS troubleshooting guides for the specific error codes and then common issues with the Lambda function and so on.